Oh my goodness. Okay. This is the first episode of multiple episodes of the Buy Income Strategy Live. I'm so excited that we are finally going to do this. It's been a long time coming, and I've been patiently trying to put everything together, put all the pieces together so that we can go live with the whole team and just tell you about all the amazing things going on here at Clearview Eastern. So, first of all, this is all about strategy, right? Buy Income Live is all about, let me just give you the quick and dirty breakdown. So you know, we help high income earners. And I have a question for you. This whole episode and everything that we're about is how high earners are negotiating against their own freedom. That sounds crazy, right? How could high earners negotiate against their own freedom? I mean, who would ever know that that's actually what's happening? But that is what's happening out there. I mean, it seems like you've spent your entire career becoming an expert at earning money, and only to realize you've negotiated yourself into a high stress trap. What if I told you that you could work hard and actually do everything that you ever wanted to do? You don't have to wait till 65. You don't have to wait till later. And that's what we're going to be talking about here on this episode. We're going to be talking about just throughout the week. We'll be live 7 days a week. And I am going to share with you some of the deals that we have in our pipeline, some alternative investments people absolutely never get to see. And some of these investments are through, of course, with us being private equity. This is what we do. We get deal flow all day long. So when you realize that you've negotiated yourself into a high stress trap, what if I told you that hard work is actually the biggest obstacle to your freedom? Today, we stop earning and we start buying. So instead of taking just earning, we're going to start buying income with the money that you've earned. So I'm a big proponent on it doesn't really make any difference whether or not you are, you know, what job you chose to do. If you chose to buy businesses, if you chose real estate investing, if you chose to become an engineer, uh, it's so funny. I have some podcasts on Change and Triumph right now. And some of the people that I'm interviewing, we're just talking about, especially, I interviewed my nephew. And I was so proud. I am so proud of my nephew. He's phenomenal. His name is Imani Muhammad, and he's going to be coming up on one of our Change and Triumph episodes. So Imani trained in school. He did a double degree in high school. And so he graduated with his associates and finished his master's, I believe, by 22. He works for a major Fortune 500 company. And today he says, the best thing I could do right now is build something good enough to replace me. And it was just like an awe inspiring and crazy moment because I was just like, whoa, what did you just say? Okay, so you went to school, you did all of this work. And he said, if I had to do it again, for people today, it doesn't make any sense. It does not make sense for people that to follow him and do that exact thing again today. So that's going to be on the Change and Triumph podcast coming up. And the whole system and the reason why I created this private equity fund is so that we're able to help people like him take their earned income and buy passive income. He studied to be a an engineer for um, like mechanical, not mechanical engineer. I think it's a computer engineer. So he is just brilliant. And I couldn't believe that that was what he was saying. And you know what? I've heard it from doctors, lawyers. I've heard it from many people that have spent their lifetimes now in their job. And with the state of the economy, it's like, wait a minute, what am I doing? Am I having enough vacation time? When do I get to buy this great luxury car? Or if they are, buying the luxury car and having the, upper middle class lifestyle, that lifestyle is something that has to be so scheduled. And the way I have noticed the best way to do these things is for you to take your earned income and buy income with it. You are in a losing negotiation with your own life. You are trading 100% of your time for 70% of your income after tax. Man, that just takes a lot while the man takes his cut, right? So, and the man is, whatever. So if you're lucky enough to have 30% tax bracket, but some people are even higher at 40% tax bracket. So traditional advisors will tell you, okay, you have to wait till you're 65. But in a world where AI and automation, like my nephew said, are replacing innovators and downsizing giants like Google and IBM. I mean, waiting is a high stakes gamble you can't afford anymore. So, listen, I am just going to be on my soapbox talking about this every day and what we're seeing in the marketplace. We have to realize that later is a lie designed to keep you in the grind. I mean, I literally saw a Rockefeller um, like documentary, and it said some crazy things that at the time, it was the industrial boom. So now we have the AI boom at our turn of the century. I always look and hindsight and look at the global picture and see in this global macroeconomic picture, we're just recycling the same things over and over again because we've already gone through this very similar cycle 100 years ago. And I started to look at it and I go, wait a minute. Um, at the turn of the century, of the 20th century, we had the industrial boom. At the turn of this century, we have the internet boom, and now we're going into AI. At the turn of the century, of the 20th century, we had a big pandemic. What do you know? There was a pandemic this time as well. I wonder if the other one was a pandemic. Who knows? Hmm. We also have and many thousands and thousands of people died at that time. And going back to what I was saying about the economy, the school system was designed to get you educated just enough not to do what the greats were doing, but just enough so you can go to work, you can plan your life, and the 8-hour day was even a plan where, okay, if you have 8 hours, you're working 40 hours a week, and it's just enough time for you to get enough work done and just enough time for you not to have enough time for your family, and just enough time for you to enjoy leisure just for a moment and then get back to work. If you look at other countries, they don't have these schedules. That's why I've been reading up on a lot of people. Different countries have different schedules. And now in America, we're looking at implementing different types of schedules. That was a big talk last year. Everyone's talking about, okay, well, we're going to go to like a 3-day schedule and you'll work 36 hours in those 3 days, and then you'll have 4 days off. Well, regardless of how anyone does anything, we know that and then the documentary was even talking about how the retirement at 65, and I've heard this in multiple different documentaries where they're like, okay, at 65 years old, Social Security figured that's the cutoff because they don't really expect you to live past 67. So for Social Security, they only expected to pay you for 2 more years. And that's why we have a crazy Social Security system now where those of us that are working now are actually paying in for people later. And if, your plan, I have a retiring mom. I'm starting to see all of the parents now, okay, getting Social Security, seeing how much that is. And even in our rentals, we had some idea where we were going to be serving people that had Social Security only getting $1,200 a month. And that's all they're receiving, $1,200 a month. So they can't afford to be in an apartment. And we did try and serve that community for a little while, doing rooms in Orlando, but we didn't find that to be very advantageous and we went to something in between, which is called, it's pad split, but we decided also not to use pad split because they feed us to death. So too many fees on pad split, not happy with it, great idea. So, the entire rooming situation is great. And we're going back again. If you look at the turn of the century, I'm from New York City, and the pre-World War II buildings are all what we call SROs, single room occupancy. And those single room occupancy pre-World War II buildings are literally what we're going back to. We're going back to a time where the average Joe is just not able to afford, an entire apartment all throughout the United States because of what I'm talking about. So if you waited and you said, okay, I'm going to work my whole life, and hopefully you stayed, focused on whatever you want to do. But, and this retirement at 67, that's not the thing, right? So real wealth isn't a reward for hustle. It's the result of alignment. You have to ask for the freedom you desire and then use a proven method to let you in. So let that wealth come in just with a proven method that's going to actually, offset your taxes with the earned income that you're making, and offset your income where the type of income that you're receiving is not taxed the same way, and usually taxed at a lower tax bracket. So if it's taxed at a lower tax bracket and you start increasing your income and buying that passive income with your earned income, it's my thought that, I've seen it done already. Many families that we work with, family offices, this is all they do. And they just literally have people like us go and find opportunities. And those opportunities are the deal flow that we have. So I want you to come back tomorrow and make sure you come check in with us and see about our deal flow. And I'm just always going to be talking about some of the things that we're raising capital for right now. We are in a constant raise, and it's not just multifamily apartments. So what's great is we've increased our entire system. We actually are expanding like crazy. We're hiring loan processors. We're hiring just a number of underwriters, and we are in an expansion phase because we're seeing a ton of deal flow. We're seeing a ton of distressed real estate deal flow and all of that. But I'm not even going to talk about that today. Right now, I'm going to talk about I'm going to talk about the problem. And let's look at the math. Okay, let's look at the math. So value is about speed, right? Speed and ease. Earned income has zero time delay efficiency. Okay, if you stop, the money stops. The buy income strategy is about buying speed. We don't start from zero. We buy class A multifamily properties that are already occupied and businesses that are already making over $1 million in net operating income. That's huge. And so it's so funny because right now I'm getting a call on my WhatsApp. So I hope that did not interrupt my little live stream here. So I just want you to think about it. Think about it and talk to me. I want to see some comments. Okay. What do you think about what I'm saying so far? Is this resonating to you? Is this something that you think you agree with? Is this something that you feel the pain and the angst in your chest, that this is something that you just want to break free from? And you know what? I'm going to tell you right now, and I tell everyone, don't quit your day job. Now, you're probably going to think like, wait, what are you talking about? I thought you said this is what you need to do. You need to, buy passive income. Well, you can't buy passive income with no money. So this is to all of you high net worth investors out there, all of you upper middle class making $150,000 or more. You definitely know that you might still feel like you're in the rat race even though you're making more money. I've heard that so many times. It's insane. You're making more money and you're still in the rat race. You never thought it'd be possible. You did all the right things. You went to school. You did everything you were supposed to do. And yet you feel like you're still in the rat race. And there is a way to get out of it. And this is what I'm sharing. I'm sharing what I've learned from the wealthy, what I've learned from family offices, from people that are doing things a different way. And I got a little coin. I got a little phrase that I coined. And, it's just all about the fact that you have to, okay, number one, you have to buy income with your earned income. And number two, they're playing chess and I'm busy playing checkers and I want to learn how to play chess. And I've always thought like that for 30 odd years. Okay, I'm looking at someone else doing, I'm looking at the boss who's got the job and who's hiring the people. And I'm like, well, why am I the employee? I need to be the boss. And, there's some entrepreneurial minds like us. I think there seems to be one in every family, right? But, one in every family, there's that one that has to go and figure it out. And so I'm that one in our family. I paid attention to my entrepreneurial dad, who was the one in his family. And so some families are entrepreneurial families, but I think I've met more families that have that one person that just has ingenuity and vision and is a leader and wants to figure it out. And then the rest of the family is like, yeah, now I need security. I need the job. And that's for my family. My brother was the one that says, now I need security. I need the job. And I think he's also fascinating. And so we watched our careers side by side. Okay, what is it that I can't believe I've been on my soapbox for already 50 minutes? It's impossible. No, it's only been 20 minutes. I thought I started at top of the hour, but I actually started at 1:30. So my brother, he went the regular route. He was great in school. Well, actually, he struggled through school. He'll tell you himself. He struggled through school, but he knew that, that rich dad, poor dad mentality. So I was like the rich dad, and then my brother was like the poor dad who went through the regular profession and, has a great paying job, a great wife, great children. And I do envy the stability of his life. I definitely envy the stability of his life, and he's been able to do each and everything. His vacation days, he has had some pivoting through different careers within the same space, through different companies within the same space. He worked private, he worked public. But the one thing that I envied was his stability, because being an entrepreneur is tough. And I think a lot of you that went out there and found during COVID that it's not easy being self employed. It is not easy being self employed. Let me say it again. There is no way that I wonder if I would do it over again. I probably would, because this is just a spirit that God gave me. But if I had to tell anyone, would they follow my footsteps? I'd say, hey, chill out. It's not as easy as it looks. So definitely keep your day job and buy income with your earned income. Stay on your focus, on your expertise, pivot where you need to pivot in your career with all of this change happening in AI. And I think all of us over the years have had to pivot because industries have changed. So back to that macroeconomic view, we had this great boom at the turn of the century, and you've got the Industrial Revolution, and a lot of people had jobs. And so there's a lot of jobs because there's a lot of building and it's just nonstop. And then there is, this next phase where you have a big crash in the 20s, right? So we're seeing recession, and then you have a war. That's weird. Are we in war with like several countries right now? Are we on World War III? So, interestingly enough, one thing that I have noticed in all of these trends that are repeating, and obviously I wasn't there at the beginning of the turn of the century, we only have what we know. I wonder if the same thing also happened in the turn of the 19th century. I know at the turn of the 19th century, there were civil wars starting to break out over slavery. And there was also a boom with just a number of things, a boom with housing. So there might be a pattern for sure. There definitely might be a pattern there. Uh, but these patterns are cyclical. They're always happening. And so it's so funny because it's just like if you're a farmer, you know that these patterns are happening. We have to start looking at our lives uh, in that way. Like, this is what you saw your parents go through. It's not exactly the same. We're Gen X. I'm a Gen Xer, right? Or you're a millennial, and you need to figure out something different. It's not exactly what your parents had. You don't have all the same, pension. You don't have the opportunities that they had. And so, earned income has zero time delay. It's efficiency. If you stop, the money stops. The buy income strategy is about buying speed, and that is what we do. So I just want to kind of go and think about our current acquisition that we bought last year, Pure Vita Hialeah. It was 260 doors. For those of you that were able to get into that opportunity, congratulations, because your money is sitting and growing. That property is doing well. We're about to hit a 7% cap if we decided to sell this year. We're already 1 year owning this property. It closed, like I said, with 95% occupancy. We didn't spend years building it. We didn't do a ground up construction on that deal. We bought the income already flowing from it. And we bought a brand new property. And that brand new property was just built in 23. So we have a few more like that that I'm going to talk about tomorrow. But because of that strategic tax planning that we do, like cost segregation, our investors get paid while effectively shielding their wealth from the 2026 tax expirations. Okay. So this is the way we are able to lower the taxable income and increase the actual income that's in your pocket while you live right now, so you can take more vacations now, so you can enjoy your life a little bit more. There's so many people that I meet that don't even take their vacation days, and you want to take those vacation days because life is short. You don't want to be 65 or 70 still trying to figure out how to do a hike. So it seems like you've tried. It seems like you're yeah. I was thinking of something and then I forgot. Okay, so it seems like you're tired of playing defense with your finances. Is it a bad idea to have your money work harder than you do? Is it a bad idea to have your money work harder than you do? Is it? I mean, so, I don't think it is, and many people don't think it is, but the question is it in the stock market? Is it in, all the traditional things that we've heard of? Real estate has had its cycles, and that's why we're also doing things like buying we have a concrete company in our pipeline. We have an excavation company in our pipeline. That's all construction related. That's infrastructure. We have one operating team actually doing an infrastructure roll up. We have another operating team that's doing a landscaping roll up. So it's kind of like vertically integrated because housing is always going to be needed, no matter what. The question is, what type of housing are you going to go after, and are you buying right when you buy? And that's one thing that I've heard from many people. They say, hey, you've got to make your money on the buy, not on the sale. And so we do really well in making our money on the buy. And then we're offsetting that by buying these businesses 20%. With 20% of every dollar, we're investing alongside these experienced operators, the same as we do on the multifamily. And I'm telling you, the deal flow that we're seeing is phenomenal. We're really having to pick and choose which companies we're going to invest in because there is another thing happening. So because all of your parents, that was that one entrepreneur in the family, that's a baby boomer, they're retiring and their kids don't want the business. The Gen Xers and the millennials don't want the business. They work their buns off, and it's so funny because there's this one business that we are going to have to turn down, and that particular business is a company that builds quick serve restaurants. So they build like the Little Caesars, the Pizza Huts, and they have so many contracts. But because his wife got sick last year, we're unable to buy that company. And his wife got sick before he decided to sell. And this guy's a one-man shop. That's another reason why we're not interested. He is a one-man shop. And because he's a one-man shop and his wife got sick, it caused a decline in income. And I want you to relate to that. Bring that home to yourself. What if you get sick? What if you don't earn all your 401k or your pension or whatever? Something happens and you've got no other money coming in. How many times have we heard that story? And that's why I encourage everyone to think about buying income in these alternative investments where we're owning a piece of several companies. We're owning a piece of multifamily apartments. These are things that have amazing tax advantages, and we're able to keep our numbers up. So acknowledge the skepticism. I acknowledge the skepticism around passive income. The label, most high earners have 7 income streams that are just 7 full-time jobs wearing different masks. Okay. And that's what I'm talking about. So when I said, don't quit your day job and don't buy the business, don't buy the multifamily apartment building all on your own, and then start an insurance, and then buy this and buy that, and then you become, you know, Elon Musk. Hey, that's a way to go. That is a way to go. But a lot of times, the word passive income, people are thinking that I'm talking about, actually being the operators of these companies. And we're not the operators. We actually invest alongside operators. So here's the 401k myth. Let's talk about that. The 401k myth is that over your lifetime, you're going to accumulate at least $1 million in a retirement account. And it sounds like a lot of money, right? Until you realize it only yields about $5,333 per month before taxes. And your mortgage eats most of it. So if you didn't pay your mortgage off in your lifetime, your 30-year mortgage, and you never refinanced, and you have this wonderful, let's say you bought your house, let's say you were excellent, like my nephew Imani, and you finished school at 23 with a master's. You've got a great job making starting pay $200,000 a year. You're now 24. A 30-year mortgage is going to put you at 54, right? That's not realistic. Most of us move every 5 years. Okay. Most of us move every 5 years. So no one actually ever stays in that 30-year mortgage. And when I found out that statistic, and then on top of the craziness that not only do we move every 5 years, on average, every 3 to 5 years. So even if you bought a house, you move. So that 30-year mortgage actually restarts. It restarts the interest if you refinance or sell, or you refinance or you move and you do a new mortgage, then you are restarting that 30-year bump. So let's say this young man, 24, now he's 29, he moved. Oh, I don't like it here in New York. I'm going to move to Texas. I don't like it here in New York. I'm going to move to Florida. And let's move all the family. Okay, wait, let's say he found his wife and he's going to move there. So now this mortgage now restarted at 29. So now you're 59 by the time you paid it off. Oh, no, that's not real. That is not average by any means. Because let's say you stay in that house, you don't move every 3 to 5 years again, but you refinance because you want to get some cash out to do something, to pay for the kids' college. Ooh, that's a thing, right? Or you want to buy another car, or you want to fix up the place, or whatever reason you get a cash out refinance, you start your mortgage again. Woo! And every time you restart that mortgage, you are paying the bank mostly interest and very little principal. until about year 7 with most amortization schedules. As a matter of fact, I've got an amortization schedule genius that's on the Change in Triumph podcast. He is going to be on sometime in the next couple of weeks. Please check out Change and Triumph, the podcast. It's Change and Triumph with Tené Williams. You can pick that up on Apple, Spotify, whatever, YouTube, right here on the channel. And check that out, because he talks about mortgage cancellation, interest cancellation, and just all of these very interesting strategies. His name is ICE. It goes by ICE, and that's Mr. Don Daniel. Is also he is on the spectrum and has Asperger's, which is the same thing that he was diagnosed with Asperger's. So it's the same thing that Einstein has. And so he's able to look at numbers a little bit differently. And he's noticed something in an amortization schedule that actually fixes that problem. So, it's kind of crazy, but, I think about that, and I think we all start out in our 20s and we all have this great idea what success looks like. And success is not wealth. And you don't realize you want wealth rather than just a successful career and a successful family. Please don't get divorced, because that's a whole additional hot mess that none of us ever are prepared for. None of us are ever prepared for that one. And, talk about restarting again. So then, did you get the $1 million in your retirement fund? And then if you did get the $1 million in your retirement fund, it's not enough. And the reason why I'm sorry, I think I said earlier that it was $5,333. It's $8,333 before taxes and your mortgage. Okay, so if you don't have a mortgage, then you'd have $8,333, and you'd have that for what, about 10 years. So this is why the buy income strategy for me is like the most important thing that I've learned at 52 years old, watching this starting over, just my own personal life, going through a divorce, going through this, going through that. It's like, wow. So we are buying. Here's why buying a profitable business from a retiring baby boomer is the ultimate grand slam play for immediate cash flow. Because these people, the deals that we are working on, they are literally amazing. I mean, they have worked 20 years, 27 years. The concrete company is 27 years old, and we're closing that. All of the funding is in place. We are bringing in the down payment capital for a whopping 19% on that particular company. So 19% of $1.8 million net operating income is coming to Clearview on that particular deal. Phenomenal. And that's why we're buying profitable businesses from retiring baby boomers, because these people did come up, they're going to have a nice hit because they exited their business. They were that one entrepreneur like me who went through all the struggle and said it was worth it, no matter how many times we got to start over. It's worth it, no matter what the economy is doing. They had some great success, built a great company, stuck to one thing. This is why if you own a business, I'm not saying go buy more businesses. Now, the bolt-on strategy is a whole different thing. We'll talk about it some other day. But right now, buying a business through the fund where we're able to distribute those investments to our investors. That kind of cash flow, $1.8 million a year, that's just on that one business. Whereas on our multifamily acquisitions, we are, one of several general partners. And so we have a great investment there, but that raise was a $30 million raise. And we only came to the table with about $5 million of that raise. So, it is exciting, all the things that we're doing. Listen, if you're an accredited investor, and that simply means you're you make over 200,000 a year individually, or together with your family, you with your partner, you make over $300,000, and you're ready to stop losing the negotiation with your own time. Okay, comment invest below. Comment invest below, and I'll get you access to our private deal room. And so that you can actually take a look at some of these little things that I've been dropping nuggets on and how we're acquiring these assets. If you want the full blueprint, grab the Buy Income Strategy book. I literally list 27 ways to buy income. Now, here at Clearview Eastern, we do not utilize all 27 ways, but I want this. You don't need to invest with us. I wanted to get this out to everyone. And so it's on Kindle, and it's going to be in soft and hardcover coming soon. But right now, you can grab it on Kindle for free if you have Kindle. It's called the Buy Income Strategy. And I think you're going to love it. Just type Buy Income Strategy with Tené Williams. But if you want to know more about the investments that we're working on right now, I want you to type invest in the comments, and we will get that out to you. And I'll see you here tomorrow. So I've been on my soapbox for almost 45 minutes, and I hope that this has been helpful. And if you have any questions, of course, we're going to be monitoring all the comments, and look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Later.